Well, first up this evening, to our focus on what's being feared to be a spiral of retaliatory and communal murders in Dakshina Kannada district of Karnataka. There were tense moments and prohibitory orders in place in some parts as a large crowd gathered for the funeral procession of 35-year-old Abdul Rahman, who was murdered yesterday by motorcycle-borne assailants with swords. Rahman's murder comes just weeks after the public hacking of Sangh Parivar activist Suhas Shetty, who was in turn accused in the 2022 murder of Mohammad Fazil, which in turn was linked to another murder which happened earlier. Why is it so difficult to break the cycle of violence? Has politics fueled a sense of impunity? A special panel up ahead, but first, my colleague Deepak Bupanna has this report.
Large crowds gathered and there was palpable tension in Bantwal town of Dakshina Kannada district as family and friends bid goodbye to 35-year-old Abdul Rahman, who was murdered last evening by motorcycle-borne assailants with swords. Even as the accused are yet to be identified, the underlying fear is that this could be another communal hate crime in a retaliatory cycle between radical groups.
An incident was reported in Bandwala rural police station limits at around 3:30 this afternoon, in which two youths who had gone near a house to dump sand were attacked by unknown miscreants with sharp weapons. Of the two youths, one has succumbed, another is injured and is being treated at the hospital right now.
To keep the lid on a tense atmosphere, prohibitory orders have been imposed in Mangaluru and 5 neighbouring taluks until Friday. As expected, the murder, which comes just weeks after the brazen murder of right-wing activist Suhas Shetty, who was accused in the 2022 murder of Mohammad Fazil, has now snowballed into a full-blown political exchange between the BJP and the Congress.
इस प्रदेश में जहाँ कहीं भी कुछ कम्युनल क्लैशेस हो रहे हैं, उसके लिए सिर्फ और सिर्फ कर्नाटक की कांग्रेस सरकार की मुस्लिम तुष्टीकरण की नीति, हिंदू समाज का अपमान और लगातार हिंदू समाज के ऊपर होता हुआ आक्रमण है.
ತನಿಖೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರಲಿ, ತನಿಖೆಯಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರಲಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಥರ ಪ್ರಚೋದನಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜನ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಲಂಗು ಲಗಾಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಬಾಯಿ ಮೇಲೆ. ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಅವರ ಸಂಘ ಪರಿವಾರ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರ BJP ಪಕ್ಷ ಮುಖಂಡರುಗಳು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಹತ್ಯೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಶವ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಬಂಡವಾಳನೇ ಅದಾಗೋದು. ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕನ್ನಡ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರು.
Now, while the politics over the murder has reached its peak, the police say that they are investigating the matter. But the locals in the coastal part of Karnataka are only hoping that peace is restored to the region at the earliest. With video journalist Kumar, this is Deepak Bopanna for NDTV.
Well, joining me this evening, noted activist Vidya Dinkar from Mangaluru, former DGP of Karnataka, Mr. Kamal Pant, spokespersons for the BJP and the Congress. For the BJP, former IPS officer Bhaskar Rao, and for the Congress, Raghu Dodderi. Raghu Dodderi, the first question to you: what is it that core fuels this kind of incidents in Mangaluru? There is a sense that these radical groups have not been kept under control by the law and order machinery.
First of all, I would request the people of coastal Karnataka, especially Mangaluru and Udupi people, to be peace. And Karnataka is a peace-loving state, and I would request everyone to be peace, follow peace, and then harmony among everyone. So when it comes to the question what you have put across, it's a BJP's miserable failure of the BJP MLAs who have been ruling in the particular constituency for last 7 years. So wherever there is a BJP MLAs, this law and order situation has been deteriorating, and Karnataka government also not there. These MLAs are not allowing the government to function properly. I'll just give a simple example. Last month when Suhas Shetty was murdered, so these 3 MLAs, BJP MLAs led by Vedavas Kamath, Bharat Shetty and Harish Punja, these people have openly called for a revenge. So we'll say we will take an action and murder. Okay, so a law and order MLAs who has to abide by the rules and to control the peace and law and order situation in the constituency, assembly constituency. So, but they miserably failed, and they themselves calling off for a revenge. So this is the lesson BJP has been teaching in the coastal, and the real reason for this coastal revenge is purely because of the BJP's failure and BJP's vindictive in the politics to sabotage the Congress image. The first thing. Second
Bhaskar
thing,
Rao,
this is not
respond to that. Wait, let me get Bhaskar Rao's response. Bhaskar Rao responds, say political backing of either side seems to be the reason that fuels such retaliatory attacks, say observers.
See, it has been a cycle of violence in Dakshina Kannada for over more than 2 decades. And making irresponsible statements, blaming each other in very virulent language is not going to be the answer. And it's unfortunate that Mr. Doderi also is doing the same. Mangalore needs to be healed. If we want to have lasting peace in Mangalore, the Honorable Chief Minister, Home Minister, the entire governmental machinery should come over to Mangalore and go to the root of the problem. The problem has now escalated beyond the police department. It is not just the police department which can solve. There has to be a political solution to bring peace in Mangalore. And only a strong voice of someone like the Chief Minister and the Home Minister will be able to convince. Because we have seen that Mangalore having proximity to the Kerala, and Kerala has been a hotbed of Muslims and Hindus killing each other either in the name of RSS and CPM or Congress and BJP, etc. And the whole thing is getting shifted from Kasaragod to north side Mangalore also over there. So these irresponsible statements of those people who are in power should be stopped over there. The Chief Minister should apply a calming hand and be serious that Mangalore should be absolutely peaceful. I am happy that Kamal Pant, my batchmate and dear friend, is also on the panel. I can recall that when Mr. Siddaramaiah was the Chief Minister between 2013 and 2018, there were a series of communal clashes, and he said that Karavali means coast. Karavali kota aagta ide. Karavali daga means it is in flames. Means it has continued to remain in flames. So now that they are in power there, if nothing should be left to chance, a conscious effort has to be made to bring people together. Only then it is possible. Otherwise, you will see one more killing now going to take place. Some seriousness.
Okay, the politicians have made their opening remarks. Let me go to the independent people on the panel. Kamal Pant, what is the key problem for the law and order machinery as far as containing or curbing such actions? Some would argue some of these murders are carried out with a sense of impunity in a brazen manner, whichever side it may be. Mr. Pant.
Yeah, I couldn't get you clearly. Is it addressed to me?
Yes, the question was addressed to you, Mr. Pant.
Yeah, please come again.
No, what is it that is the core problem for the law and order machinery when it has to control a place like what we have seen in Dakshina Kannada? Some would argue these murders are being carried out with a sense of impunity because of political backing.
See, we have to understand Mangalore properly. Mangalore is a very, very prosperous, rich, and very advanced district. But it has a history. History in the sense that from 92 till 2004 or 5, there was a history of underworld. Then from 2006, after murder of Sukhant Shetty by Mulki, Rafiq and others, these murders on communal lines started. But I would say that during last 6-7 years there was peace. There was not much of problem in this in murder. There was not much of problem. Now after the Sukesh Shetty murder, this follow-up murder of Rahman has taken place. As I have gathered, Rahman doesn't have any criminal background. He was somebody there, and it appears that he has been randomly targeted. So far, police has, in the Sukesh Shetty murder case, they have arrested the people. And Rahman case, they have they have identified the accused persons. So till here, I feel police has been doing their job fairly well, and there were complicated cases earlier. For example, Sharad Madiwala case, where the police did they did excellent job And they were able to secure all the accused, though initially there was no clue about the, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're making an important point. Vidya, you've studied this very closely. Put this in perspective for us. Why is it that, one gets a sense that though we don't have hard evidence of the latest murder in terms of linking it to the past, one gets an immediate sense of a spiral of retaliatory attacks in that area?
And this is not new. We've always had this kind of competitive communal politics and retaliatory attacks. So there have been a string of such cases over the years. And the speaker before me is right that there was a bit of a lull for a couple of years, which is why everyone is like, what just happened? Let me just tell you that that is also expected, because when the BJP is in power, then things are a little more under control. And the minute the Congress comes into power, it rides on the wave against hate and communal politics, which is what, the Congress government was saying it was doing when it came into power. And then it just did nothing about the rising hate speech, etc. So if they had acted 6-8 months, over the last 6-8 months, then we wouldn't be in the situation that we are now. And let me tell you that the first lynching that happened was a month ago on April 27th, when Ashraf, who was somebody who was taking medication for his mental illness, who was lynched by about 30 odd Hindutva or just Hindu boys and men. And what did the police do here? It just did this major cover up. And what is interesting is you see a pattern that in our place, it's clearly not the law and order machinery that is in charge. The state government doesn't seem to be in charge. There seems to be a kind of lawlessness. So the minute the lynching happened, who do the people who did the criminal act go to? They go to our MLA. They go to an MLA, they sit down, they create a kind of FIR, and a complaint is lodged by one of the accused. And the police take it on. The commissioner, the DCP law and order go to site, see that clearly this is a body which has been very badly lynched. And yet they do this entire cover up at the behest of the BJP MLA. Now, why is the Congress and the rank and file of the police in the state not able to take strong action? Which is why today you see that most of the youth Congress people in the district are saying, we are resigning. We cannot be part of the Congress anymore. We cannot answer people's questions. So yes, it was Ashraf's murder first, not even murder, lynching, so the FIR got filed later, arrests got filed later when there were questions, hard questions asked. After it was Suhas Shetty's murder, and then now, of course, the murder of yesterday. But it's been a month of violence, yes. And so many prohibitory orders.
So you're making an important point. It started with the lynching, which is what many people have been pointing out, saying that such attacks often start off. Similarly, in 2022 as well, it was a stray incident that led to the attack on Praveen Netaru, is what the conjuncture has been of several observers in that area. Raghu, very quickly, you heard what Vidya has pointed out. It could be a failure to nip the issue in the bud and ensure that things are kept under control. Very quickly, your response before I go to the BJP spokesperson and finally to Kamal Pant.
No, it's an unfortunate that, like in Pakistan, India-Pakistan border, we have a border security force, but our home minister has recently announced that he would set up a
Let's not compare this with that, please.
No. I'm just coming to that.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, let's not compare this with that. But anyway, finish your point, please.
Okay, so we wanted to set up, we want to set up a force to control these, communal harmony, whoever is taking law into their order, we wanted to control that. I think Home Minister has already made it very clear that they're going to start a force. But I don't, I completely oppose what Vidyas is saying, that it looks like, Congress government or, local MLAs or Congress leaders or local leaders all together, hid these Ashraf's lynching case. So we did not. So it came to came out of the light only after 3 days. Okay, it was not at all known to everyone, and we came to know over media after 3 days. Okay, so but immediately we took an action, and the government is acting on it, and we have taken an action. Whoever is guilty, we have already taken them in, filed a case and arrested few people.
Okay.
This is the first thing. But we have to question. We have to question the local BJP MLAs. So who have been in power for 7 years, and why this is happening only in BJP-led MLA's constituency, and why
30
BJP
seconds,
MLA
Bhaskar Rao, your response, because I need to get the last response from Kamal Pant. 30 seconds, Bhaskar Rao, for your response.
Get into a slugfest here and continue what is going on in Mangalore. Let Mr. Doderi have his opinion. But I want peace in Mangalore, and lasting peace can be brought about only by the government in power. Let them take everybody into confidence. It is possible to bring peace. This is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. It is only between political parties and few organizations for one upmanship. The government has to take charge and ensure law and order is maintained. And it better do its job instead of making silly, foolish and stupid statements or other irresponsible statements, and stop all this blame and start working. That's all.
You're saying stop blame game, start working. Mr. Kamal Pant, very quickly, 30 seconds, what do you think needs to be the next course of action to ensure this is arrested where it is?
Hey, police has to be very, very strict and decisive, which they always have been doing, because see, you have to understand, law and order has been well maintained. There is no general disruption of peace and order. And whoever were the accused, they have been arrested. They are being arrested. But there is a lot of divide in the society. That is a bigger question over there. So that has to be, that will have to be bridged by the political system. So this is the major expectation from them. And this is my recommendation.
All right. Thanks very much to all four of you for joining us here on a very important issue. We'll keep focus on that. Now to the Karnataka. Go ahead, Vidya, very briefly, 10 seconds.
There is a Supreme Court directive, the Tehseen Poonawalla judgment, which means that there needs to be a task force where lynching incidents are very common, etc. Nothing like that has been done.
Absolutely.
What has the Congress government been doing? Those are questions that we have to ask, because we voted
I'm sorry,
for
Vidya,
peace.
you made a very important point, but I've completely run short of time. But thanks very much for joining us here on the Southern View.